The grandeur of the British monarchy has always been defined not only by its traditions and ceremonies, but also by the individuals whose quiet strength and character shaped its soul. Among them was Duchess Catherine of Kent, a woman admired for her humility, grace, and devotion to service. When news of her passing at the age of 92 was announced by Buckingham Palace, it struck a deep chord not only within the royal family, but also among the people who had admired her compassion and gentle presence for decades. On September 4th, the palace confirmed the sad news, sparking a wave of mourning across the nation. The Duchess, who had lived a life devoted to both duty and humanity, had become a cherished figure in the royal family. Her passing prompted countless tributes, but none carried more emotional weight than the words spoken by Queen Camilla. Known for her warmth and sincerity, the Queen Consort's tribute was deeply personal, tearful, and heartfelt, reminding the world of the extraordinary life Catherine had lived and the quiet but powerful impact she had left behind. In her words, Queen Camilla described Catherine as a beacon of quiet strength, dignity, and compassion. Her voice trembled as she spoke of the Duchess's kindness and recalled moments of encouragement she had received from her, particularly during some of the most challenging periods of her own life. For Camilla, who had once faced public scrutiny and criticism, the Duchess's warmth had been a source of comfort. She had the rare gift of seeing beyond titles and headlines, Camilla said, and she looked into the heart of a person, offering comfort when it was most needed. These words captured not just their personal bond, but also the essence of who Catherine truly was. A woman who never sought the spotlight, yet touched countless lives in quiet, unforgettable ways. Catherine, Duchess of Kent, was born Catherine Worsley in 1933. In 1961, she married Prince Edward, Duke of Kent, stepping into royal life with humility and devotion. Unlike many others in the royal family, she preferred to avoid constant attention, choosing instead to focus on causes close to her heart. Music was her lifelong passion, and she became a devoted supporter of young musicians, attending performances, lending encouragement, and believing wholeheartedly that music had the power to heal and bring people together. She also championed education and charity work, dedicating herself to improving the lives of children and families. What set her apart was that for Catherine, charity was never simply an obligation of her role. It was an expression of her genuine care for people, their struggles, and their dreams. In her tribute, Queen Camilla highlighted this aspect of Catherine's character. She spoke about how the Duchess carried her duties with a humility that inspired us all. She never sought applause, yet her presence brought comfort to those who needed it most. She showed us that true service is not about recognition but about kindness. Camilla's voice broke as she recounted how Catherine continued her charitable work even into her later years, determined to keep making a difference despite her age. There was also a deeply human quality about the Duchess that endeared her to many. Camilla recalled a story of Catherine's visit to a school, where she had simply sat on the floor with the children, speaking to them as though she were a grandmother rather than a member of the royal family. She had the ability, Camilla said, to make you feel seen, heard, and valued. That is her legacy. It was this ability to connect with people from all walks of life, without pretension or formality, that made the Duchess beloved not only within royal circles, but also throughout the nation. The grief over Catherine's passing was shared by the entire royal family. King Charles and Queen Camilla issued a joint statement expressing their sorrow, describing her as a beloved member of our family whose wisdom, kindness, and generosity enriched all our lives. Prince William and Princess Catherine also honored her memory, recalling her charitable contributions and the way she had shaped their own understanding of service. William, in particular, spoke about how Catherine's example of humility and compassion had influenced his approach to his royal duties. Yet among all the tributes, Queen Camilla's stood out for its raw emotion, reflecting not only admiration for the Duchess's public life, but also gratitude for her personal kindness within the family. The Duchess's life was a story of grace and quiet strength. Though she never sought the limelight, she became a symbol of devotion and service, embodying the very best of what it means to be royal. Queen Camilla's emotional tribute echoed the sentiments of a grieving nation, reminding everyone that true influence is not always found in grandeur, but in humanity and compassion. Through her words, Camilla painted a portrait of a woman whose greatest achievements were not her titles, but her ability to lift others through kindness. As Britain mourned, tributes poured in from religious leaders, charitable organizations, and ordinary citizens who had encountered the Duchess over the years. Many shared memories of her presence at events, where she would mingle freely and warmly, often leaving a lasting impression with her gentleness. Her loss was felt not only within the walls of Buckingham Palace, but also in the hearts of those she had touched with her generosity and humility. Queen Camilla's tearful words brought all these sentiments together, reminding the nation of what Catherine had stood for. In her closing remarks, Camilla said, "Though we grieve today, we are comforted by the knowledge that Catherine's spirit, her kindness, her gentleness, her unwavering faith, will remain with us always." These words were not just an expression of sorrow, but also a recognition of a lasting legacy, one that would continue to inspire the royal family and the public alike. The passing of Duchess Catherine of Kent marks a profound moment in the history of the monarchy. She was a woman of quiet dignity, whose life showed that true service does not require grandeur, but only a generous heart. Through Queen Camilla's moving tribute, her story has been etched into the collective memory of a nation. Catherine will be remembered not only as a duchess, but as a symbol of humility, grace, and compassion. Her life's work, her warmth, and the love she shared with those around her will live on, cherished by generations to come.